Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, hope you're doing good. Now, we are just outside the gym on a very miserable morning. Before we go in, we might as well address the big orange elephant in the room. There's a reason I look like a fucking cast member from The Only Way is Essex. I had one of my first events yesterday, which was a photo shoot. So we had to get a bit of a tan on for that, and it is a little bit darker than what we were expecting, but should come off in the next few days. So we are currently 7 weeks out from the main photo shoot that we've been dieting for. We're now down to a point where body fat is pretty much as low as it's going to get. We've got maybe 1 or 2 pounds left to come on, so we're just trialing out different refeeds and bits and bobs with food to see how we can fill me out. Today we're going to go through my leg session. Now this is usually one of my strongest muscle groups, but at the stage of diet I'm currently at, legs has definitely taken a hit, and this is easily the hardest workout of the week to go through. So I'm going to be showing you exactly how I train legs at the minute, how I'm adjusting it with not being quite as strong as usual to make sure that intensity is still there, and then we're going to do a little bit of a physique update afterwards to see where I'm currently at and how I'm currently looking. So we're going to head inside because I'm fucking freezing. I'm shivering with no body hair, and we're going to get started on legs. Alright, so first things first, warming up on the bike. Just with how things are at the minute, especially with dieting and sort of going through legs, my knees and my hips do tend to be a little bit more achy than usual. So just doing 5 to 10 minutes on the bike, getting warmed up, getting my legs ready, doing a little bit of stretching, just helps get them ready for the session that's going to come. And I've found it does reduce any sort of hip pain or knee pain going through exercises that we're having to work out. So we're just going to do 5 to 10 minutes on the watt bike. It does help me burn a few extra calories from my cardio target as well. And then we're going to get going with the first exercise, which is going to be leg extensions. One thing that always seems to twang first is like my hip flexors. I've never quite worked out whether it's a tightness or a weakness in them. I think it's more likely a weakness that I need to be a bit more rigid with, sort of putting into my programming and strengthening up, but for now just like stretching them off like this at the start seems to help quite a bit. So we're going into our first working set, so leg extensions, 2 sets, 20 reps on each set, and I'll basically pause along the way if I have to until I get to the full 20 reps. I should be able to get to the 20 reps in one go with this first set, but sometimes on that second set it takes 1 or 2 rest pauses to get to the full 20 reps. I don't really mind that. I don't drop the weight, I just allow myself the time, especially at the minute with the conditions I'm in with having dieted for so long, body weight being down, recovery being down, fatigue being higher. I just sort of allow my body that time it needs during the set to get to that rep target, and then we'll go from there. So 2 sets of leg extensions, get the quads nicely warmed up before we then go into some RDLs. Sort of work around not feeling as strong with legs, I am going for a lot more volume, a lot higher rep work, and just allowing myself to back off that weight at the minute, because just the sheer mechanical load of trying to lift heavier, like I said, my hips, my knees, just my body in general at the minute, it just cannot handle that. So backing off the weight a little bit on most things, increasing the reps, and just trying to keep the intensity high that way. RDLs wise, Typically, this is a movement that you might expect to see your strength drop through a dieting phase, certainly as you start to get leaner and leaner, because with any sort of hip hinge based movement like this, how strong you can be in that movement is quite reliant on your actual body weight to help stabilize against the load that you're lifting. So obviously for me, I'm about 18 kilos down now. Typically in the height of sort of my gaining phase, when my body weight was highest, I was working up to about 140 on these for sets of 6 to 8. At the minute, I'm sort of pushing to maintain at about 120 at best for a set of 6. So we're going to see what we can do today and see how it feels. But yeah, although they have gone down relative to the weight that I've lost, it's actually stayed pretty similar to what I was lifting before. So I'm not actually too disappointed with that. So we're going to see how these feel. 2 sets. Let's go. It's 120 for 7. That's not bad. Sort of maintaining where I've been for the last few weeks, so I will definitely take that at this point of the diet. Fighting for maintenance it's not a bad place to be. Get lightheaded. Exercise number 3, seated hamstring curls. So finishing off the isolation hamstring work, obviously starting with the RDLs for hamstrings and glutes. Finishing off with some isolation hamstring work here. I do prefer the seated hamstring curl to the lying hamstring curl massively. I just tend to find on a lying hamstring curl that it pinches my lower back, and I've tried however many different ways to perform them, the setup, the tempos, the executions, and after a set or 2 my back just doesn't like it, but I've always found these to be much better. So we've got 2 working sets on here. Again, we're going for the higher reps, so 12 to 15 reps, keeping that intensity high, the volume higher. And actually, to be fair, my strength on these has pretty much maintained since the start of this prep. I think for isolation-based movements like this, you shouldn't really expect to see much difference whatsoever when it comes to your strength. So we're going to jump in, 2 sets of this, then we're on to the leg press. Fucking dread this. Like, I dread this all week leading up to it for whatever reason at the minute, or like we were saying earlier, because I'm doing all my cardio on the Stairmaster at the minute, and obviously quite a high step count. My legs just aren't getting the time to recover between workouts, and leg press more than anything is like taking a hit on that. So again, like when I was in the peak of my muscle building phase, I was working up on here to I think about 9 plates a side. So it's about 360 kilos plus whatever the carriage is. I don't count the carriage. At the minute, I'm literally struggling to hit 6 plates a side for like sets of 6 to 10. Like leg press is taking such a hit, and I think it is just because of the continued demand of doing the Stairmaster on my legs and my quads and getting into that sort of deep hip flexion position. It's in the bottom of this leg press where I really feel things start to break down. So we'll see how this feels today, but at the minute it's literally just a case of trying to get through this exercise as best as I can and seeing where we're at. The first few weeks I was getting so annoyed and frustrated that it was just feeling heavy, and I've just got to the point where I just need to accept it, do whatever I can, try and keep the reps a bit higher and just roll with it week to week and see how it feels. So we're going to start warming up on this and see how we get on this week. That feels fine. A little bit, you can see a little bit lightheaded between sets, which always happens at this point in a prep. But yeah, that feels fine. I was just going to get some deep reps on that, nice and slow, see how it feels. So we're going to go up to 4 plates aside for another warm up, see how that feels, and then we'll go into our burning sets from there. I should probably take a second after the set and sit down and breathe before standing up. I always get up a little bit too quickly. So that actually felt pretty good. So we got 1 extra rep from last week, which is quite nice. I think, to be honest, that's a lot to do with the fact that this past week we pulled cardio down, and I've had about 3 refeed days of 500 grams of carbs for the video shoot that we did yesterday. So obviously more food going into this session, less cardio, recovery should be in a better place, and obviously translates a little bit into slightly better performance. So we're going to stick at this, go again for another set and see what we can get on the second set. Cool. So exercise number 5. I think we're on 5 now. We're on 5. Yeah.
I'll correct it.
Yeah. Exercise number 5, pendulum. This is the worst bit of the session. So this is literally one massive set to failure because we've just gone relatively heavier and lower rep on the leg press for the more mechanical load style work, even though it's stripped back at the minute. This is just going to be the high volume, lower load style set. And what we're doing is, we always call it death by pendulum or something like that. I had one of my clients, Sam, train with me last week, and this was horrific. So it's one working set. We're going to go 8 to 12 reps. We're then going to have a 5 to 10 second rest pause. We're going to go again to failure, 5 to 10 second pause, go again to failure. We're then going to drop the weight, go again to failure, and then drop the weight and go again to failure. So there's a hell of a lot of volume in this one set, and it's not a lot of fun, but at least it does get it done in one set. So we're going to do a couple of warm-up sets, and then we're going to jump straight in. Once we've done this, we're then just onto some calves to finish. So leaving the worst till pretty much the last. big working set for this then, last sort of biggest set of the day. I do not look forward to it. There's people in there that absolutely fucking love like the pain of training and leg training, absolutely live for it. I am not one of those people. Like, I actually enjoy training legs, but when it comes to sets like this, it is literally a case of get in and get out. It's not the most enjoyable set, but we'll get it done. Glad that's done for another week. Thank fuck for that. It's not, like you can see, it's not even a heavy set. Start with 20 kilos, then I drop to 15, and then I drop to 10. It's nowhere near what I've been able to do in the past on higher load, lower rep sets, but again, the point of this is backing off that load, more reps, high volume. It's fucking horrible. But at least it's done. We move on. Sweet, so last exercise of the day, just finishing on some calves. So 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps, nice and steady. Generally calves, for most people, especially for myself, respond better to higher reps and slower reps as well. So you don't just want to be trying to blitz through the reps as quick as you can. You do want to try and hold the stretch for a couple of seconds at the bottom and then hold the squeeze at the top for a couple of seconds as well. For 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps, I'm going to get these done. I actually find, if you look here, this is the most humbling piece of equipment in the gym because of this thing right here. Every time I use it, I have to set the pin to the very bottom just to fit into the machine. So it's just a weekly reminder that I'm not as tall as I would like to be every single week, which is always nice. I'm not the biggest fan of this piece of kit. Legs done, nicely boxed off for another week. Probably, to be fair, one of the better sessions I've had for at least like 4 or 6 weeks now. I think in combination of having the refeeds, having less cardio to do, more time to recover, and then just having been here with the camera filming, meaning I'm going to have to put a bit of extra effort in, has actually helped. So that's legs done. We're going to do a quick physique update now. We're going to see where I'm sitting at, I think about 7 weeks out. Been no change in weight for like the past 2 or 3 weeks now because we've been trialing different refeed and carb ups, like with glycogen storage and water storage from all of that. Weight's been very unpredictable as a reliable marker of progress for the past few weeks, and we've just been going off of pictures and how we're looking, and we are still looking a little bit leaner, which is nice. So we're going to have a look now at how we're looking, and then we're going to go wrap this up outside. Sweet, so legs done at 7 weeks out. That's what the sessions are currently looking like. This might change a little bit more as we get closer to the shoots to try and help manage fatigue a little bit better and sort of make sure we're not holding any excess stress or inflammation and the water that comes alongside that. But for now, we're just going to keep pushing that session for the next few weeks at least and see how we get on. So hope you found that useful. If you enjoyed that, if you want to see how I'm currently eating at the minute, what my food day to day looks like for how I'm getting lean, then I'll drop a video somewhere up here, a little card to it, and you can go and watch that. But apart from that, guys, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.